Business leaders and intellectual business community, we continue our discussion of leadership in permanent crisis, which is really happening according to Paulus to what he did every day, and he managed to so far survive with everyday's crisis. And we come to the discussions of how this idea of getting the employees having the ownership attitude towards the company, and also lowering down the pride, how this concept applied to the people or the employee. What did you do to set the message?
Yeah, since the first time I took that position, I talked to each one of employee one by one, face to face, to know
250 people.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How long did it take?
Month maybe. Yeah.
Oh.
A month. Yeah. And to know their background, understanding what they view of this business and everything, and I asked them whether they understand that the company is actually in crisis. And after that,
what was the result? I was wondering. Did they understand?
They're surprised actually, because according to them, they have never been in face-by-face discussion with CEO before. Before, and then they said that they appreciated it. Yeah. And after that, I also have a transparency management system.
No, so what my question was, did they know that they were in crisis?
Oh yes. At that time they didn't.
Oh, they didn't.
They suspect, but they didn't know how much is it. I mean, yeah, how big is it? Of course, not all of them. Some of them they know different on the, like for example the mechanics. They did not quite.
The finance
understand.
People knew well.
Of course. Of course they did. So some of them, they still didn't want to open up. Yeah. So I gave them my handphone number, I gave them my email number. I even have the box for them to put anonymous letter asking about everything, and I dedicated myself to answer everyone, each of them, each of it. And then we had regular sessions with them, and we also put away all barriers from top management to the mechanics. We did that, and then after a while, the trust is beginning to be built. So they understand about everything. They know that the company is in crisis, and some of them I have to let go from the company, and not only let go actually, because Indomobil is a big company, so we relocated them. So I asked other companies to take them, something like that. So it's just not let go. If I'm not mistaken, there is nobody that was completely let go. So we managed to transfer to other business units.
All right, because you are in a group of business,
yes,
so you transfer to the other unit of business.
Yeah. And then we explain to them exactly what they are doing and the effect to the company. And take an example from the mechanic point of view, from the finance point of view, and everything. Mechanic, we took them to the fine dining restaurant, and to explain to them how service is supposed to be done, even if you go to the toilet, how they accept you, and and they beginning to understand what is actually required in the current business situation.
Something that I don't really understand, because you said that the market is, is not big and is stable. So it seems that for you, marketing is never be a problem. So that no matter how much things you do in the marketing, the size is more or less the same. The problem is on the operations, how to make this, revenue can be profitable by cutting off this inefficiency in operating.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that what your emphasis is on the operational side rather than the marketing side?
Oh, at that moment, yes. But of course, I never satisfied selling 120 units car per year. I wanted to sell it 120 units car per month. But I have to be realistic, yeah, because the condition, the business situation was not very conducive for us. Internal Volvo organization is also focusing more to the American and European markets more than this side of the world. So the support is not as huge as given to them, and now they really understand about it, and they are going to do the restructuring on the pricing segment for us also. Another challenge, for example, not only the model but also the engine. Like a new car, XC60, it's a very hot car now. It's very good. I mean, it's really excellent, and we can talk about a lot of things about that car. But it's only equipped with 3.2 engine. 3.2 engine is coming here. If we import it here, it is subject to 75% import duty.
Yep.
Then it's becoming disadvantage for us. So we have to wait a little bit more for it to be coming here.
All right.
Also.
All right.
So
All right. All right. So in the crisis that you did a lot of improvements, you even transferred the people to other business units. Who made the decisions? You made the decisions, or you left them to make the decision?
Oh, I did.
You did the decision.
Yeah, I did.
You did the decision.
I did, because I told them.
You did. You made the decision, and you make them buy your decision.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. In this article, it's mentioned also that the more difficult you are in, actually, you have to involve more people to make decisions. But in your case, you think that it's better you make decisions and then sell to them, right?
Yes.
All right. Jan, you have any questions?
Well, I think.
Can you have the microphone? Thank you.
Yeah, I think you have already touched upon it, but I think just to comment on what you said on decisions, I think what you said was that you discussed with your people and then you made your decision. I think that's a very important point, because it means, yes, he makes the decision, but it's based on input from everybody.
Right. Yes.
And I think my original question was really that in terms of strategy, your strategy, not quite sure exactly what the strategy is going forward. I would like to hear that. But once you tell us about it, could you then maybe also tell us about how do you intend to implement that strategy at all levels in your organization, so that everybody is pulling in the same direction, and in an organization you make money if you have no waste, and everybody understands what the objective is. Thank you.
Okay, so the question of Jan is that in the crisis, maybe sometimes or often you have to change directions according to the situations. And then when you change your directions, you have to make sure that everybody in your line understands why you change the direction and where the new direction is.
Correct.
How did you do that to make sure, and how you measure that your change of directions or the new strategy can be understood and executed by even the frontliners?
Yeah. Well, I have to explain about everything again and again, and especially in the term of business and marketing. For example, mechanics again. Back to the mechanics again. They know very well about technicality of the engine, of everything about the product itself, but maybe they did not really understand about the business landscape. So we transfer the knowledge to them. Let them know how the competitive situation is.
How did you do the transfer the knowledge?
Explaining to them. I mean, put in a class and then explain to them, discussion, and not only once, but regularly every month.
Okay.
Until they really understand.
You made the forums.
Yeah.
You made kinds of like trainings or discussion sessions.
Yes.
Yeah, so that they understand the other side of their work. It's not only mechanics, but they understand the business part of this, of what they do.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And
I did not limit to a certain level. So every employees, we will do that.
Okay.
All of them.
So what you did to make sure that the strategy is understood by everybody is to improve the communications frequency in your company.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
You create forums, you create discussions and everything. Yeah. But don't you think that sometimes you have to see whether they really have time to do that, or you think that actually the time is something not a problem in your company, that you utilize that, or you see that actually they also didn't have enough time to do that?
Of course, the time is always a problem, but that's very essential. That is very important. If we want to get everybody involved, then we have to make them understand, every one of them, and we have to make time without sacrificing the real business, because the real business is the real business.
Right. Right.
So we have to make time, even if we have to do it on Saturdays.
Okay.
Of course. Or after hours.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very relaxed situation. It's not like in a classroom whereby if you make a question, it's a wrong question. There has never been a wrong question.
Okay. So if necessary, you add times to it.
Of course.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So we need to have another break, so that the commercial of Volvo can be, can be shown to us all. So, business leaders and intellectual business community, we have again to have another break, and we'll continue our discussions for the next segment right after this. Thank you.